Hello, everybody. We are back. House Tyrell. It's the second final preview of the preview series.
That's right. You thought you were upset when it was the Martells? You're going to be upset with this because this is some of the best we've ever seen, honestly.
It really is. It's a new faction, which is always super exciting. We got a new faction. These are people that we've seen floating around first edition, but now they're in second edition all their own, kind of like the Night's Watch. Yes. Almost, I would say, exactly like the Night's Watch.
No more lumping them in with the Baratheons and Lannisters. They're a house of their own.
Which always made way more sense, ultimately, because they are really in the pantheon of the noble houses.
They're playing the game.
They're playing the game.
They're major
hard.
players. They're major players in playing the game.
That's all you could ask for.
It's not like this is the Detroit Tigers or something. What's that team? I don't even know. They're not major players. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, anybody from Detroit or Utah, why don't you leave us a comment? I just went to Utah last week. It's a beautiful state. I love everything about it. It's all public land out there.
Really?
Which apparently the Utahns are not that happy
about. They hate. We want a mine. We want a farm.
You can imagine it's like, the government owns 3/4 of this thing. But it's beautiful. And
it is beautiful.
If you're in Utah, go explore that stuff. Also, if you're in Detroit and you're offended by what Robert just said, please let us know, because
send us a contact. We would love to hear from you.
I don't know anything about Detroit Tigers, but haven't heard much about them, which probably means that
it's indicative of something.
What he said is true. Let's talk about Elena's Informant. This is our exclusive preview for this cycle of previews from the Tyrells. Now, Elena, for those of you who don't know, which was me about 2 minutes ago, is the Queen of Thorns. The grandmother of the Tyrells, basically. Oh, and she runs the show. Let's face it.
She's running everything.
Anyone who's seen anything, if you've seen her hat, you know that she's running the show.
Yeah, look at that hat. We'll get to it.
It's unbelievable.
The hat is
It's like she's two popes.
Mm-hmm.
Elena's Informant is a 3-cost intrigue power character with 2 strength, an ally, and a spy. Ambush of 4 gold, put him in. Reaction, after Elena's Informant enters play during the challenges phase, name a challenge type. You may initiate an additional challenge of that type. This phase potentially utterly crippling effect during a 2-claim or 3-claim plot turn, even a 1-claim at times. Not expecting it? Well, you should be, because you just held 4 gold for it.
You should be. You held 4 gold for it. More importantly, this is a non-loyal character, so this is the kind of thing that people are going to want to splash out of this house. I'm terrified of this thing, moreover, I'm excited because that's why I'm splashing Tyrell with my Lannisters.
Already. Theoretically splashing.
I've made the decision.
Let's just imagine, we got some events back here too on the old Tyrells, but let's just imagine that you have 2 events, each of 2 gold, and then you have Elena's Informant in your hand, and you're holding 4 gold.
Let me close my eyes.
The amount of options that you have in that moment where it's like, is he going to play 1 event, 2 events, 3 events, maybe 4. A bunch of 0 costs and some 1 and some 2s, or is he going to draft his Informant, do an extra challenge? I have no idea.
That's why holding that gold into the challenges phase is so worrisome for the opposing player, because they don't know exactly how and when they're going to leverage it.
It's going to be a huge deal.
This is where it really starts to get interesting, because it could be something that leverages a direct mechanical effect, or it's just like, I'm going to psych him out, but I'm really just saving it for dominance.
Yeah. All right, I'm saving it for dominance.
I don't have anything.
I didn't have anything to play.
Yeah, I had a 5-cost character left, and I have 4 gold.
Yeah, and now your opponent's like,
he's going to do another challenge, watch out.
I can't do it. So I think Elena's Informant is pretty solid. Really cool card. And I don't know what it says about the Tyrells, but we should move on and get a real good look at these guys.
All right, next up is Baxter Redwine. He is a 4-cost, single intrigue icon, 3-strength character who is loyal, House Redwine, traded, and a lord. And then he reads, reduce the cost of the first event you play each round by 1, and then he also grants an additional gold.
Static plus 1 gold. Yeah, that's really, really exciting, isn't it?
He's a moneymaker.
I mean, House Redwine is a pretty cool name anyway.
It is a very cool name.
I mean, is he a drunk?
Especially if you like reggae music, right?
Have we decided, is he a drunk or what? Is he holding the bottle or a scroll there?
It's a bottle. It's a bottle, for sure. Maybe it's a bottle with a scroll coming out of the top of it, but, with a name like Redwine, this is licensed to be a lush.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm drinking all the time.
And we know the Game of Thrones universe. Everyone's drinking all the time anyway.
They're pouring drinks all the time. It's like Mad Men, but like 1,000 years ago.
Well, let's think about reducing the cost of the first event. Here's why this is so awesome to me. For me, this is, for me only.
Nobody else.
Don't pay attention.
You guys need to find another reason.
1-cost events, I think, will be a critical part of this game, because it's the most, you don't have to commit gold going into the challenges phase, and then if you don't use the event, you're not out too much, these kinds of things. 1 gold events are going to be big, and Redwine makes them all free. At least the first one that you play, free.
Correct.
So with Redwine out and 1 gold in your pool, there's no telling what's happening.
That's right. Could be a 2-cost event.
You can play a 2-cost event. You can play a 1 that's now a 0 and have 1 for dominance. There's no telling. Or you could have no gold, and it's like you could have 1 gold for stuff.
Yes.
So I think he provides a lot of flexibility, and just the pure resource advantage of him after 1 or 2 turns by far pays himself off.
You're going to feel that extra gold coming through. That economy efficiency is kind of what the Tyrells are about. I mean, Lannisters are known for their money, but the Tyrells too, the bounty that is the earth provides a continual revenue stream, which is why they have these kinds of things.
Yeah, and maybe, do they just spend the money better? I mean, Lannisters waste a lot of money,
Well,
right?
Well, I mean, with the Lannisters, they're mining it, and eventually that mine's going to run out.
That's true, yeah.
When does the earth ever run out? Unless you're not
Dragons.
rotating crops, soil erosion, these are issues.
Yeah.
However,
Permaculture.
Exactly.
Come on,
Permaculture is
Tyrells.
a thing.
Plant some fruit trees.
Plant them.
3-cost character, Margaery Tyrell, coming up next, and she is lusty.
She looks like her middle name's Chastity.
That is so true.
Right?
You ever know a Chastity? I've never met one.
I've met one Chastity, and the stereotype did apply.
Very nice girl.
Very nice girl.
Intrigue icon, power icon, and 3 strength. Margaery Tyrell, she's unique. She's only a lady. That's all she is.
She's a
Challenges
lady.
action. Kneel Margaery Tyrell to choose a character until the end of the phase. That character gets +3 strength.
Fantastic.
Forever usable, forever great, forever annoying, forever Margaery.
This is
Like a perfume commercial.
Yeah. Margaery Tyrell. Essence of Margaery. But this is the kind of thing that, just kind of like we were talking about with the informant and a little bit with red wine here, this is the effect that you can kind of pick and choose when and where you use it, if only to upset your opponent's ability to anticipate what you're going to do with any of your effects, with your gold, with all that kind of stuff. This just will make your opponent so confused and bewildered, they can't help but make a mistake because you've set them up to do
there's
so.
no right move to make. If I block, they win. If I don't block, they win.
Yeah. Well, I need to overcommit to win this challenge.
Overcommit,
That's
then I lose the other
critical
one.
because, I anticipate, I had to do that because Margaery could have swung in there with +3 strength, but then she didn't, so now I wasted all that extra strength.
All that strength, defending and challenge. It just, everything you attack with +3 strength until she kneels.
Correct.
Incredible. Now, I want to try to read this without laughing because of what we said earlier. I know this is the flavor text. I know what a burden you bear. You should let me share the load. There must be some things I could do to help you.
Oh man, you just can't write it. You can't. Yeah, well, you can
Essence
write this.
of Margaery.
That's hilarious, honestly.
Let's go to Randall.
Yeah, all Randy.
Let's keep moving
All
here.
Randy Tarley of the Sword. He's a 6 strength character with a military and power icon, 5 strength, unique of course, House Tarley and Lord traded, with renown. We don't often see that kind of a thing.
I love that renown is a little more rare, I feel like, than it used to be. Yeah.
You're going to have to play the game to win. And then he also reads, reaction after Randy Tarley's strength is increased by a card effect, stand him, limit twice per phase.
Oh my goodness, is this insane?
He's getting helped out by Margaery.
Yeah, there must be some things I could do to help you.
Mm-hmm. I could share that load.
Stand him right up. Randall Tarley is a monster, guys.
He's a beast.
Now, we had a Randall Tarley in the original game, and I like to play him sometimes. He had the War Crest, which is something that we're not seeing in this game. All of them get +1 strength, including him, and that was cool and all. But this is Randall as Randall. He's not leading anybody.
It's all about me as Randy.
He's a 5 strength
Randy
with
Tarley.
2 very important, these are the icons that we live and breathe in the Game of Thrones. Military and power. This is what you see most
Bread
often
and butter
on these
challenges
powerhouses. And 5 strength for 6 seems to be pretty solid on the curve.
That's right.
He has renown, which is incredible. This is an ability that wins you the game directly. And he gets to stand up potentially twice, which means he could potentially get 3 challenges in.
That's correct.
Which means he can potentially claim 3 power and win you 3 challenges. So I think Randy is doing some serious work, and he's got a big old sword, and he looks great.
He's got a big old sword. I never quite understand how you get swords in and out from behind your back. He can tell me at some point, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure, looking at the angle of that arm, that it is impossible.
It is impossible.
To do that.
His arm just grows an extra 3 or 4 feet.
We're not going to worry about it.
It
we have the Queen of Thorns next. That's why, because look at her. Okay.
She's the Pope's mistress, I think is what we actually call her.
We've talked a lot about art.
Right?
We've talked a lot about art in this game, have we not?
Yes, we have.
Actually, less than we should.
Yes. Let's roll back. So far, the art has been quite good. We have a repeat on Paxter, but every other piece of art, including the Queen of Thorns, is very
This is just like,
fine.
this may be my favorite piece of art so far in this game.
Look at the toot on her.
The thing is, this card perfectly defines the Queen of Thorns in that smirk. You know what I mean? That is it. Like the artist, who is the artist? We can't even see
self-confident,
it.
almost haughty smirk.
Just perfect.
Got it.
Just kind of pulling, it's like holding her secrets close, playing the game, not getting fooled or run around by anybody.
She's Queen of Thorns.
7 cost, intrigue, power, 5 strength. Lady.
Why is she so expensive?
Well, let's find out. Reaction after you win an intrigue challenge in which the Queen of Thorns is participating, Put a Tyrell character with printing cost 6 or lower into play from your hand.
What?
If you do that once, the game is over.
Yes. This kind of... Okay.
Just get it from the table.
For those of you who watched our Lannister preview where we were going bananas over Hear Me
Hear Me
Roar,
Roar. Yeah.
that's a temporary effect. This is lasting. Now, granted,
You can
Hear Me
imagine the
Roar
level
was
of
an
bananas that is.
unlimited cost. This is only 6, but still 6 gold, up to a 6 gold character. That's Randy.
If-
you could put Randy in for free. What are you talking about?
And then attack with him, and then stand him with Margaery, and then attack with him again. If you literally imagine this for a second, you play a 7-cost character that then in the challenges phase makes a challenge and gets you a 6-cost character.
I'm very scared.
Essentially, at that moment, Queen of Thorns has cost 1.
Yes.
For a 5 strength, intrigue power, and you get the flexibility of a character earning play in the challenges phase. If you do it twice,
Yes.
The
Watch out.
just
Watch out.
y-
I mean,
your opponent may as well.
You have what, 8 gold in
fold
setup
up the chair.
these days? 8 gold in setup.
Yeah,
and
8
then,
gold,
So
yeah.
that's like
Is it 7?
an extra setup.
7, right? I think it's 7.
I think it's
8.
8. But
Probably
anywho,
put it on the screen.
needless to say, whatever the amount actually is that this is bananas. This is just a lot of cash, and more importantly, it's the kind of thing that not only represents economic strength but also challenge strength. This will happen, like assuming you do intrigue challenge first. She drops a new fatty into play. That's something we weren't anticipating.
New icons.
Exactly. New icons, new strength, new abilities.
Ah, man.
Everything just ripples
It's
across
so
the
good.
board.
Now, to be fair, okay, let's talk about let's pardon our
Let's settle
gushing
down
for
here.
a second.
Let's settle down.
The chance of you actually maximizing and having a 6-cost character in hand at the right time, House Tyrell, crested, and all of that you didn't want to play earlier in the game or that you just drew or whatever, in concert with Queen of Thorns being on the board, it's not always going to happen, okay? But like even dropping in a 2 or 3 cost is significant. Dropping in Margaery out of nowhere is significant.
Or even dropping in the informant, because she
informant.
just reads after it enters play during the challenges phase.
You
You don't
just
have
did
to
it.
ambush. It doesn't say you have
You
to
just
ambush.
did it, man.
So there it is.
That sold it for me. Yeah,
Okay.
and she's non-unique, so you
Yep.
can do 3 of those
Boom,
pretty
boom, boom.
easily.
There's your trick.
That's great, man.
Great little
Look at that
trick right
synergy. That
Watch
is
out for it.
Incredible. You get a new thing, and then you get another challenge.
Yes. It doesn't make sense.
I love these
But that's why
guys.
she's her informant.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Highgarden. It's our first Tyrell location. Very exciting. It is 3 cost, unique and loyal, stronghold, and the reach traded, which is nice. And then reading challenges action. Kneel Highgarden to pay 1 gold to choose an attacking character. Stand that character and remove it from the
Remove from
challenge.
the challenge. Gosh, this is going to be so annoying, guys.
What?
This is going to be so annoying.
You see-
my gosh.
You see
it's
that
gonna
guy?
be so
Just stand him up. He's not doing anything.
This house is bonksters,
I
man.
will say, like, this, again, we kind of talked about it with the Greyjoys. If this didn't cost 3, it would be overpowered.
You guys are you feeling this?
But even so, I am glad also that
This
it's
is crazy.
stand and remove rather than just remove them. Because if you were just removed from the challenge and then you're still knelt, it's like,
Thank goodness.
good
and thank goodness you
gracious.
got to kneel the location to
Yes.
do this.
Self-limiting.
If you could just gold
watch
block
out for standing
forever.
location effects. I'm actually a little surprised they didn't self-limit this on the assumption that might eventually
It's
find
true.
its way into the game.
It's true, but hey,
because this could get crazy in a jiffy.
This could get nuts. So now the Tyrells of any faction that I've seen appear to be really into holding a little bit of gold going into
Yes.
challenge. Now I know we all want to play
And the
events and stuff, and I'll get that. But the Greyjoys, that's 0 cost as from the sea.
Well, they
right?
have enough money that they can actually save it.
Can you imagine? Let's think of it. Let's
Thinking about
digest
it.
this a
Thinking
little
about
bit
it.
because this
Dive it in.
theme is super strong. Think about like the Night's Watch.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't really have a lot of gold in the challenges phase. Don't have a lot of ambush that we saw at
That's
all.
right.
Don't have their events are like 1 or 0.
Yeah.
You have the Greyjoys, 0 cost version from the sea. These are people they don't have the money.
Yep.
They just are going to kill things. They don't have, and then you have
We're
the
just killing
the
things.
Tyrells are holding gold. The Lannisters are holding gold. These are the ambush houses.
That's right.
And they're holding the gold to signify that they have the riches.
They do. They have it. They've got that maxed out bank account.
You guys have nailed this. Is
They
it
really
Nate,
have.
Is it Nate and company? I don't know who's
Nate
in charge
and Co.
of this, but you guys have all done a really splendid job
Yes,
so far.
I'm just impressed.
I mean, we haven't played it. We could play it and it'd just be a complete disaster.
That's right.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not going to happen because these cards are just too good. Too good.
Let's talk about this 1 cost attachment. It's Heartsbane. Oh, look at that. That's Randall's hands.
Yes,
Without a
that's
doubt.
his sword.
Yeah, that's his sword for sure. Valyrian steel weapon. We always love seeing Valyrian steel.
Yes.
Nothing's cooler than a unique sword, guys. Come on. Tyrell character only. It's nice.
Yes.
Action. While attached character is participating in a challenge,
Okay.
Kneel Heartsbane to give that character +3 strength until the end of the challenge.
It's totally Randy's sword. Randy Tyrell, you and
believe
that
that?
sword are just a match made in heaven.
Can you believe that?
It's unbelievable. Not only does he get stronger, but then he stands up and he gets to attack again or defend. And he has renown.
If Margaery is on the board
like it.
with Randy and Heartsbane,
And
I know it's
Plus 6,
it's a dream and a
11
rainbow, guys.
strength, perfect storm. It's not. It's
I
not.
rarely talk in these terms, but like, come on, that is.
Go ahead, Steven. Talking.
Like that is impossible.
Impossible.
To block, and it's like, okay, now Queen of Thorns and Randy attacks.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do?
Lose.
You're going to lose that.
You're going to lose.
Is it strengths or cost 6 or lower characters coming into play? Heartsbane's going to kneel and stand Tarly up. Even if you don't block, he's just like, well, just
stand up, old Randy.
He's got to do it in a challenge, so he's got to pay attention. Randy's got to pay. He's like, okay, they didn't block. I need to.
He's not an intriguer. He's a little bit of a brute. Okay.
But man, that synergy is just immense.
It's fantastic. Well worth the cost. But this weapon only costs 1, and on him in particular, it's just.
You put on Queen of Thorns too. Give her a +3. Put her in there. Hey, here's the Heartsbane. Can you imagine her wielding Heartsbane?
I don't know if she could lift it, which would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Coming in like Randy's pulling it off his shoulder. That's a big sword.
He's trying.
All right, next up, we have Elena's Cutting. It is a 2-cost Tyrell event that is loyal. And then reading reaction. After you win an intrigue or power challenge, the losing opponent names a card type, a character, location, attachment, or event. Search your deck for a card with a different card type, reveal it, and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck.
This was an old start card.
Was it?
Remember that start card where you played it and then your opponent chose a thing and you got the thing that wasn't that thing?
Yeah.
It wasn't. I mean,
now.
I think I saw it in like the Dark Wings, Dark Word stuff because they were just looking for any event to play.
Anything. I need to fill this deck out.
This is okay. So this is a solid.
This is very flexible, by the way.
Yeah, listen.
It's any search effect in the game, in any game, is going to be extremely powerful and well worth the cost of not only playing it but also including it in your deck.
Let me take a second. Let's play a little game here. We're gonna do a quiz. Okay. So you and I are playing Game of Thrones 2nd edition.
I haven't studied.
I'm playing Tyrell.
Okay.
Maybe we're both playing Tyrell.
Haha, mirror match.
I play Elena's Cutting. It doesn't matter what the situation is.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me. Do you want me to have any location, attachment, or event in my deck right now?
Oh man, I just don't know.
The answer is probably no.
Yes,
right?
because it's like I choose the one that is probably most detrimental to me. Like I imagine, it's like I don't want him to have, a character right now because he's.
Well, then go get an event.
Yeah, he's going to go get an event. But what's terrifying about the events is that they kind of supplement what characters are already doing in the first place.
Let's play the quiz again. Do you want me to go get any character, attachment, or event from my deck?
Attachment.
Do you want me to go get any? It's like. Nothing is good here, guys.
No matter how you slice it.
Everything, it's like, I can, of the 3 card types that you give me, I can get whatever's going to punish you the most.
This is like a left-handed compliment because you're getting a choice here. You feel like you're in control, but ultimately the choices are still so broad, it doesn't matter. It's I'll get one of the other things.
Isn't Elena's Cutting a left-handed compliment? Isn't that what the idea of Elena? That's what Queen of Thorns is all about. We found it.
You thought I was being sweet. I was being smug. And then I tricked you.
1 cost event growing strong is up next, and I gotta tell you.
Go ahead. I know what you're gonna say.
Is it about the flowers?
Yeah, no, it's about the flowers. It's about the whole motif and theme of Tyrell and growing strong, the roses, whatever.
Everybody here watching this knows that Tyrell has the lamest house motto.
That's right.
Of all time, growing strong. She says it in the show.
I mean,
Queen of Thorns says it. She's like, we're growing strong.
And it's just like, whatever.
However, that said. If there was a way to make that motto seem more, excuse the language, BA, to keep it PG, I don't know what it is. Because this is the most incredible bouquet of flowers that I have ever seen.
How are these roses doing this?
Why?
These are enchanted roses.
I'm scared of the roses.
These roses.
I'm like, these roses mean business.
They look. I've never seen roses look this sturdy and formidable.
Just like I don't want to get hit by them. I don't want to touch them.
I don't want to even look at them. I don't even want to look at these things.
These are like the coolest and just most like hardcore roses and flowers.
Go on and read this thing.
First of all, it's free with Paxter.
It's free because it's 1 cost. Hemo roses by 1.
Challenges action. Choose up to 3
3
Tyrell characters. Till the end of the phase, each of the chosen characters gets +2 strength. Sounds like grown strong to me.
Let me. Yeah, we've been strong for a while. The reason that I ultimately really
This is absurd.
love Tyrell, and especially the way they're functioning within 2.0, is that they are anti-Targ burn in the best way possible.
That's right.
Because let me tell you, in 1.0, there was always this element of surrender to Targ burn.
That's right.
It's like, what can I do?
You try to just out spam it.
There were some buff effects, but there wasn't enough to really go toe-to-toe. I think Tyrell has it resoundingly
They've got it.
well above and
You got to
beyond
play
what
it
Targ
right.
can burn with.
I mean,
yeah.
you may have to use this before they launch their burn effects
Correct.
and stuff, which is like, I'm going to do it preemptively. But ultimately, yeah, because grass Pokemon ultimately are resistant to fire Pokemon,
That's right.
which is something
They
that
live
we
on the
learned
plains.
very early in our lives. I hope that's true.
I actually never learned that.
Well,
Never learned it for
you
myself.
know, at least ground Pokemon.
Ground Pokemon.
But anyway.
I was watching Captain Planet, so
you're a little ahead of the
a
curve.
little ahead of the curve. I'm on the lookout for those eco villains, right?
We've got two. So that's the end of Tyrell, by the way.
That's
guys.
the Tyrells. Start your crying now.
And it seems like these guys are playing fundamentals. Okay.
Fundies,
Which
yeah,
is what
battle,
we like.
math.
So if you keep watching
Basics,
us on this show
challenges.
and this channel, Robert and I are going to be stupid in love with Tyrell because they are about fundamentals.
That's right.
And every game ultimately comes down to fundamentals. You want to look at the best players.
How much money you got?
And
How
the
many
best
cards
decks.
you drawn? What's the strength of those
Resource
things? Yeah.
management. Resource management. Get the most bang for your buck. Play challenges, which is what the game's all about. Win them. Get dominance. Do the whole thing. That's what Tyrell's doing. Let's take a look at these neutrals.
All right, so we have two neutral events, the first of which is called Put to the Sword, very dramatic. 2-cost event. Of course, it's not royal because it's neutral. And then reading reaction after you win a military challenge by 5 or more strength as the attacking player, choose and kill a character controlled by the losing opponent. Max 1 per challenge.
And they're back into max 1 per challenge, which we know now basically works for events.
Yes.
So limit applies to like the card in play.
Correct.
And max applies to the card universally, like in a deck. So like if I play a Put to the Sword, it then goes in my discard pile. The problem with that in the rules is that if it's in the discard pile, that text is no longer active, so the maximum no longer applies. So they made an exception called max 1 per X. And that applies to the entire deck, and all players just have to understand that.
Thank you for the tutorial.
I am here for you.
I understand
This
now.
is second edition Die by the Sword, except balanced and great, and I love it.
This is fantastic. What can
I mean,
you...
it was balanced before.
It was balanced before, but this is the kind of thing where it's like, I don't care about that military challenge. I'm all about the intrigue and power. It's like, oh no, I'll get to choose who dies here. So
Put him to the sword.
you were dependent on that old Queen of Thorns coming up on that intrigue challenge that was subsequent to this. Well, she's dead now.
She's dead now.
She's dead.
Who's laughing? Put her to the sword.
Who's laughing now?
Remember, red wine lowers the cost of every event. So the first of any, so it doesn't matter. So these neutral events, absolutely. He put to the sword for 1 gold. I would do it. And then finally, we also the art on that card, pretty incredible.
I like it that, usually your head's kind of down on that post when your head's getting cut off, but it's like somebody's going, yes, this sword's coming down.
Turn him over. I want him to see it. And then we finally have, this is a great card. I mean, we don't need to say much about this. You're probably gonna use it.
You're gonna use it.
1-cost event, Tears of Lice. I believe it's Lice, right? It's not Lice.
Lice?
No, Tears of Lice is too goofy. 1-cost event, Tears of Lice, Poison. Reaction, after you win an intrigue challenge as the attacking player.
Already like it.
Okay. I want an intrigue challenge the attacking player.
That's me.
I now get to place a poison token. Say what?
What's a poison token?
On a character without an intrigue icon controlled by the losing opponent.
Like Randy.
Bink. At the end of the phase,
Yeah.
if that character still has that poison token, remove it and kill the character.
Sweet bejeebus. You thought you could only die in a battle? Guess wrong. Guess wrong. No, we were just playing the Game of Thrones, and I was having a nice light snack right before the latest
poison token. What
afternoon
else? What is
execution.
that? So we got stand
And I got
tokens.
killed.
We've got
Cup of wine.
Dude, how thematic is a poison token?
It's extremely thematic.
And now you've got like maesters that are on the board that say kneel to remove a poison token, or
They've
kneel
got
to
an
grant
antidote
a
for you.
poison token.
That's right.
And it gives you a nice design space where it's like, okay, well we can give a nice kill effect, but it only takes place at the end of the phase. So that's incredible, man. Imagine a plot. There's a plot. There's got to be a plot called like Poisoned by the Maesters or Maesters Council, and it's like place a poison token on a thing.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the phase, they're gonna die. At the end of the challenge phase or whatever.
Totally.
Or whatever phase it is.
Oh man, I'm in.
How cool is that? And thematic. I'll tell you what. Fantasy Flight loves tokens.
They do love tokens.
We
as Christian himself said, they're into high quality bits.
Yes. And it's
and there's nothing as high quality as a poison token.
Listen, there's a difference
deadly.
between an effect that reads, do a thing, and then at the end of the challenge phase, kill the character.
Correct.
And that's all well and good. But if I place a poison token on your card,
The implication.
it's like, that's like it's such a Game of Thronesy kind of, I'm after you. You
That's
know
right.
what I mean? Like,
That's right.
Changeable. That's what I'm talking
And you,
about.
and you have that moment of fear, but still a glimmer of hope.
Glimmer of
you
hope.
could find that antidote
Yeah.
just in time,
And
or
maybe-
not.
And you just sacrificial lamb. Just like, well, now go attack.
See ya.
You're poisoned.
I
I'll
don't
see you
care.
later.
Father.
All right, guys, that's it. There's the Tyrells and 2 neutral events. You can't ask for much better. Can we hold on, Jonathan, real quick? You're gonna switch to this camera. Look at the background. Look at the background on that camera. Can you believe that?
It's a wide open
Guys,
country over
we
there.
are working on getting something back there because that is ugly back there.
It's ugly.
It's empty. Jonathan was just talking about it earlier. He was like, "This is just a
We
disaster."
have all this blank space.
We're trying. You
Blank
know what?
spaces. Let's call it
We're
Taylor
trying.
Swift.
And if
She's
you,
got a blank space.
I'll tell you what. If you want something back there really heavy, why don't you subscribe to some packs?
Subscribe to some packs. That'll help us out.
Buy some tokens.
Buy some tokes.
You know, just
Totes and
fund the
packs.
effort. Anyway, this has been the Tyrells. Thank you guys so much for watching. I guess this officially concludes
Yes.
our previous series.
Yes.
For all of you that have stuck with us and watched us as we kind of just
Explored this.
explored,
Yeah.
I guess, excitedly
All the kingdoms of Westeros.
the kingdoms, the
the
other
realms,
and
the denizens.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. And if this is your first preview, we've done the whole thing. We've done all the.
Go back.
Sometimes it's Zach and Robert. Sometimes it's Robert and I. I think you're in like every one.
I'm in every one.
He's a star. And on that same vein, Game of Thrones Second Edition is going to be at Gen Con 2015, which is a week from this.
10 days. Oh,
a
no.
week from this.
Less than that. It's like, what, 9 days
9,
from now?
8.
From,
Could
as
be
the moment
8 or
of this
7.
recording.
8 or 7 by the
Yes.
time this gets up. We're going to be bonkers
excited.
about Second Edition at Gen Con.
That's right.
We're going to get us as many core sets as possible. We're going to
13
open them up
to 14.
We're going to get into all the cards. We're going to explain everything about what's going on, the distributions, what all you need, the peripherals that come in the box. Everything you want to know about Second
That
Edition.
sounds a little bit like an unboxing,
It
Steven.
does sound a lot like an unboxing, Robert. And we may even play some on camera. We may get some people to play some games on camera. We're gonna launch you into the stratosphere of Game of Thrones Second Edition, and then right down into Westeros. So thank you for watching.
Nice.
Join us there, and we'll see you then.